Hello, everyone. I want to first and foremost thank you for taking the time out to participate in HBCU 20 by 20 in the application's mock interview week. This volunteer orientation is curated to ensure that we answer any questions you may have. And before we start, I'd love just to talk a little bit more about HBCU 20 by 20 in the application. HBCU 20 by 20 was founded in 2017 with a goal to prepare and connect the HBCU community to job and internships. It was founded by Nicole Tinson, a Dillard University and Yale University alumna who saw firsthand the differences in the way that resources were allocated to students. Our mission is to empower the HBCU and ultimately diverse communities with the resources needed to achieve any opportunity. So, whether it's getting into college or getting into that first career opportunity, we're here to be a support system to students. And just to share a quick timeline of our events, as mentioned, we were founded in 2017 through an op-ed actually posted in Huffington Post. In 2018, we hosted our first Network to Net Worth event. August 2019, we hosted our first HBCU Summit with Intel. In 2020, we launched our mock interview program. In 2022, we celebrated our 5-year anniversary, and in December 2023, we became the application just to expand our reach and expand our impact to ensure that students nationwide, regardless of their background, were equipped with all of the tools and skills needed to be successful, not only in college, but as they enter the workforce. So while you're here, the mock interview. Our mock interview program, as mentioned, was founded in 2020 to ensure that students have the resources to practice an actual interview. So what we found before was students would reach out to our organization asking if we can help them with their interviews, and we figured it'd be best to have professionals provide those resources. So as you see in these screenshots here, at the top we have a volunteer from Edmonds, at the bottom we have a volunteer from PwC. So we're able to partner with different employers and different companies and organizations and agencies to ensure that students have that opportunity to not only practice their interviewing skills, but also build their network. So these mock interviews are really the way for our students in our communities to gain and understand what they need to do to be successful in an interview process. The actual process for the volunteer is a 5-step process. The first, which I'm assuming you've done if you're watching this video, is signing up to participate in your company's mock interview week. Next, what you're doing now, watching the orientation, is just a way for you to understand a little bit more about what's needed and what you need to do as a volunteer to be successful for the actual mock interview week. Next, a week prior to your actual mock interview, you'll receive an email matching you with your student. In that email, you'll find information about what's needed. Also, the student will be sure to provide their resume after they've been matched with you. Step 4, you'll schedule a time that works best for you and your match. So during your actual mock interview week, say Wednesdays from 12 to 1 work best with you. You share that with your match, and you all will identify the best time that works best for you. And last, you conduct your mock interview, and we provide the resource guide so that you can provide direct feedback to the student. The actual mock interview process. So as mentioned before, you'll receive an email that says you've been matched. In there, you will have the student's name, their email address, and they'll share their resume with you just so that you can become more familiar with who they are. The mock interview should last 30 minutes, so 5 minutes for introductions, 20 minutes for questions, and 5 minutes for feedback. And we ask that you please use the volunteer guide that we provide so that you can ensure that the student walks away with tangible feedback from their actual mock interview they were able to do with you. Now, we have some frequently asked questions that we have gathered over the years, so we want to make sure that we go through that so you're fully aware of what to expect. First, who can volunteer for the mock interview program? Um, the answer is professionals from all industries and backgrounds, as long as their company is signed up for a mock interview. The only thing that we ask is that you be transparent with your students. So be honest in giving them feedback. If they weren't answering a question, if they were kind of looking off, if it looked like they were reading something, we want to make sure that our volunteers are able to communicate that with them during the actual mock interview, but also through the resource guide. The next question is, what is the time commitment for volunteers? So, at minimum, we ask that mock interviews are scheduled for 30 minutes, including time for feedback. So, that 5 minutes for introduction, 20 minutes for questions, 5 minutes for feedback. The time commitment can vary depending on you and your students' availability. So, we've seen volunteers opt into doing mock interviews for 45 minutes, sometimes even an hour. So we want you to know that it is possible to extend that, but we do ask that at a minimum you conduct your mock interview for 30 minutes. Next, how will I conduct the mock interview? That's an excellent question. So, volunteers are responsible for providing the video conferencing platform of your choice. So, whether it's Zoom, whether it's Teams or Google Meet, we want you to pick and choose what works best for you. You will schedule the session. So, it is the responsibility of the volunteer to provide the actual calendar invite with the link to the video conferencing platform. So again, I just want to make sure I reiterate that the responsibility is on the volunteer to provide the video conferencing platform and the calendar invite for the student to join, and also accept the calendar invite. Next, how should I provide feedback to the students? That's an excellent question. We actually have created an HBCU 20 by 20 mock interview guide. So, in this guide, it includes questions that you can ask during your mock interview, a rubric system, and also space for you to provide feedback. We ask that you use this guide because it's something that students can have and look at later on. So, be on the lookout for this email as well. You may have already received this guide, but we ask that you use this and that you also share this with the student once you're finished with your mock interview. What type of questions should I ask during the mock interview? Again, an excellent question. In that volunteer guide that we share, we'll have questions. So, as you see in this image here, you have questions like, tell me about yourself, or give me an example of a time you worked with a group that was not successful. We're really leaning on our volunteers to ask these questions and also score the students so that they know how they did. And if you can, please make sure that you leave those comments so that the students know where they can improve, or if they've done great in answering a question. We also want to make sure that, we give them praise and kudos for what they are able to accomplish. The next question is, what if my student is a no-show? No-shows sometimes happen, but we don't want you to worry. We actually have a wait list of students who are eager and ready to participate in a mock interview. So if you find that your student didn't show, or that your student hasn't even communicated with you after being matched, we ask that you reach out to us and we will rematch you with the student as quickly as possible to ensure that your time is put to good use. We know that the knowledge and skills and experience that you've gained over the years are truly a valuable asset, and we want students to be able to soak that in. So just know that we're here and we'll make sure that you get rematched if your student is a no-show. Thank you so much again for your time and dedication. We look forward to having you participate in your organization or company's mock interview. Thank you again. I can't say thank you enough, but we really are grateful for you in participating in our mock interview program.